Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. These are the movies I watched in December of 2023. Now, it's actually not very many. Even though it's like the holiday season, you'd think I'd get a lot of movies in, but it's actually the exact opposite. Being the holidays, I was busy, so I don't have as many movies, but I still want to talk about them. So here we go. The first movie I watched was Inception, which is like the quintessential Christopher Nolan movie. When people think Christopher Nolan, this is probably the movie they think of in terms of actually showing his style and everything like that. And overall, yeah, I thought this was a really great, fun movie. I know lots of people consider this like a smart movie. I feel like it's smart in the sense that there was clearly a lot of thought put into it, and only a smart person could make it. But I don't think it was smart in the sense that you have to be smart to understand it. It was mostly just fun to me. In the first half, I wasn't like super into it. The movie just generally felt very self-indulgent and felt like it was acting very self-important, when at that point it hadn't really done anything to deserve it. But in the second half, when we actually get into the main plot and it's everything actually picks up, it's like, okay, yeah, it does deserve the praise. Maybe I don't think I like it as much as some other people might, but I still think it's just a fun movie to watch. Interstellar. I was very, very excited to watch this one just because I knew Christopher Nolan's favorite movie is 2001: A Space Odyssey, and I also absolutely love that movie. And just seeing as this is a space adventure movie, clearly inspired by 2001, I was very excited to watch this because I think it's really cool just to see Christopher Nolan doing something he really wants to do, clearly, something he's very passionate about. But yeah, this story is a very, very gripping story. I think this movie is almost 3 hours long, but it does not feel that long at all. It honestly just breezes by. It has great visuals, obviously. This is probably some of the most CGI Christopher Nolan has used, I think. But even then, it's not a whole lot, and even when it's used very, very well. But also the music is great, which I like never really notice music, so that's a big deal for me to notice the music and to recognize this is actually really good. The one thing I might say is maybe the emotional moments didn't quite hit where they needed to, but I still think they were very well done. And this is just a very well put together, really, really interesting movie. And then the last Christopher Nolan movie I watched this month was Tenet, generally regarded as one of Nolan's worst movies, or just generally a not so great movie. But I actually thought it was pretty good. I had a really good time watching it. I know people complain about things like audio and the whole thing being generally confusing. To me, there weren't really that many scenes where I had problem with audio, and if I did, it was in a scene where it seemed like what they were saying wasn't very important anyways, so I don't think I had that much of a problem with it. And yeah, the movie is generally confusing. There's a lot happening, and I don't know if you're supposed to fully understand everything. Because I feel like this movie is best enjoyed if you just let it take you on its ride. Instead of questioning everything, just let it take you away and have a good time watching it. Because it's actually a really well made, well put together movie with great visuals and great music and all that. And I think if you're sitting here trying to just understand everything logically instead of just going with the flow and letting the movie do its thing, then I think you're not gonna enjoy it as much. I also watched Batman from 1989. This movie going in, I just sort of knew that it was supposed to be a fun, campy movie, you know? It's not supposed to be taken too seriously or really ripped apart too much. It's one of the first superhero movies that was a big success. So like it's really interesting in that way. And so when I watched it, I was expecting to just be like I was willing to accept anything. But wasn't maybe as campy as I thought it would be. And my understanding is that the later ones are more insane, and I think 3 and 4 specifically people don't like because they get too silly. But I almost think I would have preferred that, cuz in this one it's just pretty standard. There's some kind of fun stuff in there, but I don't know. by the end, I was kind of getting bored, and I was like, all right, I just want to wrap this up and be done with it. And I was planning on watching some more movies in this series, but after this first one, I'm not going to because I just didn't enjoy it enough. So that sort of tells you that I didn't really enjoy this movie that much. Next up is The Boy and the Heron, and I was really excited for this one. I was really glad I was able to get to see it in theaters just because I wasn't sure if I would see it. It actually wasn't even playing at the theater near where I live. So it was really cool seeing it in theaters. It's just a really refreshing movie because it's that 2D animation and it still feels old while still feeling new, I guess. It's the same style of all those classic Ghibli movies, but still being able to utilize modern technology. And I think it's really cool and really refreshing. Overall, it's kind of confusing. There's a lot of stuff going on in this movie. My friend who I went to this movie with, I think he summed it up really well in saying that it really does feel like for the past 15 years or however long it was since Miyazaki's last film, he's just had so many ideas and it's just been building up. And then with this movie, he finally just gets all of those ideas out. And so this movie does feel long in a way because there's so many things, but not in a bad way. It's all very good and very entertaining. And I feel like by the end, a lot of the ideas and concepts do kind of come full circle and come together, and it's really satisfying. Definitely a movie I need to watch again, but it was just fantastic. To cap off this Christmas season, I watched It's a Wonderful Life, which actually wasn't as Christmassy as I thought it would be. It wasn't really Christmassy until the very end. But yeah, this is just such a good, feel-good movie. It's very uplifting and all that and very emotional. It is kind of depressing throughout a lot of it, but then by the end, it brings it all together, and it's really just a satisfying conclusion. In general, all the concepts that I knew about this movie came in at the very end. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know, I thought that would be like maybe midway through the movie, maybe even a bit before. But it was a nice surprise, honestly, because everything else was still really good and well written and all that. So yeah, this is a great movie. So yeah, those are all the movies I watched. Remember to leave some comments. Remember to save the blobfish, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.